The first thing they noticed was the look in her eyes. Not fear exactly, something sharper. A silent plea that cut through the roar of engines and the casual laughter at the roadside diner just outside Calgary. The bikers were about to leave, helmets in hand, when the girl lifted her wrist slightly and let it fall again. 3 quick taps against the window. Not a wave, not a greeting, a signal, one that said, without words, "Please see me." She sat in the back seat of a dusty sedan parked too close to the curb, a man twice her age in the driver's seat, another in the passenger seat. The men didn't look nervous. They looked careless. That was the part that chilled Mike, the oldest of the riders. He'd seen that carelessness before, years ago, when ignoring a detail cost someone their life. He didn't hesitate. He nodded once to the others, and just like that, plans changed. The girl's name was Emily. She was 15, from a small town near Red Deer, where everyone knew each other and doors were rarely locked. She had been waiting for the bus after volleyball practice when a man asked for directions. Then there was a cloth, a smell she couldn't place, and the world went dark. When she woke up, her phone was gone, her hands shaking, her voice trapped in her throat. Hours passed, or maybe days. Time had lost meaning. The only thing she remembered clearly was her mother's voice telling her, years ago, that if she was ever in danger and couldn't speak, she should find a way to signal. A knock, a gesture, anything. Trust your instincts, her mom had said, and trust that good people exist. Mike approached the car slowly, calm on the outside, heart pounding inside his chest. He asked the driver for a light, even though he didn't smoke. The man waved him off. Too quickly. Too defensive. Mike glanced at the back seat again. Emily met his eyes and blinked hard, once, twice. Tears pooled but didn't fall. She pressed her fingers into her palm and tapped again, this time slower, deliberate. That was all it took. The bikers didn't rush. They surrounded. One stood near the hood, another casually blocked the rear door. Someone else quietly called the RCMP, keeping their voice low, steady. Years on the road had taught them patience and protection. When the driver realized he was boxed in, his confidence cracked. He tried to reverse, but there was nowhere to go. Emily's chest felt like it might explode. She thought they would yell. She thought there would be violence. Instead, Mike spoke softly through the open window. "You okay back there, kid?" It was the first kindness she'd heard in what felt like a lifetime. Her lips trembled. She nodded, just barely. When the police arrived, lights flashing against the chrome of the bikes, Emily broke. The tears came fast and hard, sobs she couldn't control. A female officer wrapped her in a blanket while the men were pulled from the car, their protest sharp and hollow. Emily didn't look back. She couldn't. At the station, she called her parents. Her mother screamed when she heard her voice, then cried so quietly Emily could barely hear it. Her father drove through the night, hands locked tight on the wheel, praying he wouldn't wake up. In the days that followed, the story spread. News outlets called the bikers heroes. People commented online, sharing it across Canada. But Mike didn't feel like a hero. He kept seeing Emily's eyes in the window, thinking about how close it had been. Thinking about how many times people look away because it's easier. Emily went home. She slept with the light on for weeks. Loud noises made her jump. But she was alive. She went back to school slowly, one class at a time. Her town held a small gathering at the community center, not for the bikers, but for awareness. Emily stood at the microphone, hands shaking, and told her story. She talked about fear, about silence, about the moment she decided to tap on the glass in hope. "I didn't know if anyone would help," she said, voice breaking. "But they did, and because of them, I get to be here." Mike watched the video later, sitting alone in his garage, helmet resting on the bench beside him. He didn't need applause. That wasn't why he rode. But hearing her speak, seeing her stand, it mattered. Sometimes, saving someone doesn't look dramatic. Sometimes it's just paying attention. Sometimes it's believing that a small signal means something big. And sometimes, it's choosing not to think twice when someone needs you. Emily still carries the memory. It will always be part of her. But she also carries something else now, a belief that strangers can become guardians, that courage can be quiet, and that even in the darkest moments, a single act of awareness can change everything. And somewhere on the highways of Canada, a group of bikers ride on, engines humming, eyes open, ready, just in case someone taps on the glass again.